A former NFL player, not a regular dude, an NFL player, once spent a day on the water off the coast of Florida. It wasn't supposed to be memorable, and it wasn't supposed to be dangerous. It was just another day offshore, the kind of day that you've probably had yourself. Just trying to relax, enjoy some alone time, some fresh air, some open water, nothing unusual. But somewhere out there, something changed. And before the day was over, everything would be different. And honestly, the part that gets me the most is just how normal everything seemed at the beginning. His name was Rob Konrad. So before this all happened, Rob played fullback in the NFL for the Miami Dolphins. This man was 6'3", over 250 pounds. We're talking about strong, athletic, and comfortable in the water. He loved the water, loved the ocean. And living in South Florida, being out on the boat alone wasn't some rare adventure. It was actually normal. It became a part of his life, which is exactly why this story is so disturbing. Nothing about that particular day felt different. Nothing suggested that anything was about to go wrong, and yet that's exactly what happened. That day, Rob took his boat offshore alone, as usual. The weather wasn't the story. The weather was actually great. No wind, sunny day, slight breeze, birds out, nice warm weather. The ocean wasn't the story. Nice calm waves, blue water, just a nice relaxing day. Nothing dramatic was happening. Everything felt routine. At some point, Rob entered the water, just like he had done many times before, and nothing seemed unusual. Until he actually looked up. At first, something felt wrong to him, but he wasn't sure. He was still trying to figure out like what looked different, what felt different. Something was off. Then he saw it. His boat was actually moving away from him. He thought he was going crazy a little bit. He thought he was tripping maybe. He's like, nah, no way. No way my boat's moving away from me right now. But it was slowly at first. Then the boat started getting farther and farther and farther away. He later said that he believes that the boat was accidentally left in gear before he jumped in the water. So left in gear and no anchor. So while he was in the water, enjoying how the water felt, enjoying the fresh air, his boat kept moving. At first, he panicked a little bit and tried to start swimming after it. Which honestly, that's what any of us would do, right? Like, we gotta catch this thing. We gotta get to this boat. You know, you see your boat moving away from you, you don't immediately think that you're in danger. You think that, oh, I'm gonna catch this thing. I'm gonna catch this boat real quick before I get stranded out here. But Rob couldn't catch the boat. Even being an elite athlete, he still couldn't manage to catch it. The boat kept pulling away, and then that scary realization came that he wasn't going to be able to catch the boat. The boat was moving faster than he could swim, plus he was also dealing with the current inside the water. So his only way home was disappearing into the distance by the second. Most people panic in situations like this. I know I probably would. I'd probably freak out, start swallowing water. I mean, who knows? I don't know what I do, but I know it'd be tough to stay calm. Help me, oh, help me. And honestly, I don't think anyone could blame someone by panicking in a situation like this. You're offshore, you're alone, no life jacket, no radio, no one knows where you are because you were off on an alone time trip trying to recalibrate. And your boat is getting smaller in the distance by the second. But Rob understood something super important right away. That if he burned all his energy trying to chase his boat, he might not survive what came next. So eventually, he had to make the hard decision to stop chasing the boat. And that's the moment that everything changed. Because now, it wasn't about catching a boat, it's now about survival. Rob later estimated that he was about 15 or so miles offshore when this happened. 15 miles. Let's just think about that for a second. Most people can't run 15 miles. Now imagine swimming that in the open ocean alone, hour after hour. He kept moving, sometimes swimming, sometimes just floating, trying to relax, not to panic, and reserve his energy. But the ocean slowly takes its toll. The sun started dropping, the water felt colder, even the light started to fade. The reality of the situation became impossible to ignore. Now the night was coming, and he's still out there. As darkness took over, the ocean became a completely different place. No landmarks, no lights nearby, no sense of direction that maybe I'm swimming the wrong way, or just darkness and water everywhere. At some point, Rob encountered a cluster of jellyfish, stinging him all over the place. And later, he also described moments where he felt like sharks were around him, circling him while he was swimming. And honestly, this is the part I can't stop thinking about. Just try to imagine floating in complete darkness in the open ocean, not knowing what's beneath you, not knowing what just stung you, but you had to keep moving. I'd probably start crying on the spot. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably breaking.
Oh my god, oh my god, please, oh my god, what was that?
The hours kept passing. His body was breaking down. He was dealing with exhaustion, dehydration, cold, muscle cramps from the dehydration. At one point, he said he thought he saw trains moving across the water. And that was his mind starting to go crazy on him. But somehow, he kept going. Stroke after stroke, hour after hour. So back on land, people started to realize that something was wrong. His boat had been found, but Rob was nowhere in sight. So now the search began. But the Atlantic Ocean is huge. Finding someone in open water is extremely difficult, they say. Meanwhile, Rob kept swimming towards what he believed was the right direction. He wasn't sure. He could have been going the opposite way, but he stayed with his gut, swimming where he thought the Florida coastline would be. Eventually, after spending an estimated 16 hours swimming and treading water, Rob actually made it to shore. Barely alive, suffering from dehydration, severe exhaustion, jellyfish stings, all of the above. But the man survived. And according to later estimates, he may have covered nearly 27 miles in the water. That's the moment that makes surviving this story seem impossible. Pretty crazy story, right? Rob is a soldier. Straight soldier. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I will see you next time. Peace.